This is the People's Court, and I'm joined by Lamont. What's going on, brother?
Oh, not much. Enjoying a nice, brisk, early Friday evening. How about yourself?
I'm doing just splendid. Look, if you want to get in touch with the People's Court, make sure you hit us up on Twitter at People's Court FM or check out our blog, http://thepeoplescourt.fm. Today we want to talk about NBA Commissioner Adam Silver and how he's done in almost a full calendar year as commissioner of the NBA. He officially took over David Stern during last season's All-Star break back in February. Now we're near the end of 2014, 9 months on the job for Commissioner Silver. He's had to deal with quite a lot since he's been on the job.
Yeah, he's done, like 2 month. 2 months was 2 months into the job for him was that whole Donald Sterling fiasco, et
And he
cetera, et
had to
cetera.
deal
It,
with
he's had
scandal.
he's had to deal with scandal, uh, negotiating with television networks, um, getting acquainted with a new director, a new players union executive director, making rule changes here and there, et cetera, et cetera. He's had to deal with quite a bit. He's a busy man.
Not only has had to deal with quite a bit, but he's shown that he's going to be a very transparent commissioner, and he's shown that he has very progressive opinions and thoughts about things. So, how do you feel he's done, Lamont?
Uh, I'm gonna approach this like I approach getting served at a restaurant. Everybody starts with a 10, and you lose and you lose points from there. So we'll start with Sterling had a 10 in February. Maintain that 10 with his decisive action in with Donald Sterling. Kind of lost something when they didn't officially vote to ban him for life, but whatever. Um, I'm gonna give him like an 8.5, a real solid 8.5 thus far. Here's what I like about what he's done. He appears on to be open to any new ideas may that may improve the NBA as a whole. They've installed a new replay center in New Jersey, which I think has cut the time the average replay review time cut the average replay review time in half from a season ago thus far. I think that's a good idea. I do wish that they would put in less replay triggers, but that doesn't look like it's going to happen. I like that he experimented with a shorter game. We all know that the games are both in game length and TV length are a bit long, so they tried one 44-minute game during the preseason. I thought that was a good idea. I don't know if they're going to continue that. I think they may install that into the D League. I'm not sure. I liked that they extended the All-Star break. The All-Star break was previously 4 to 5 days. Most teams got 4 to 5 days off. I think now teams are going to get at 9 days. I didn't like that they didn't lengthen the season in response to that or shorten the season. So basically, what an extended All-Star break is doing is forcing teams to play more back-to-backs, and we all know that isn't good.
So, not lengthening
Um,
the season as in adding more games, but just stretching the season out over more days on the
strict
calendar,
over more days on the calendar, correct? Or taking away more games.
or
But
taking away.
most teams
Right. Yeah.
are taking away games. But a lot, for example, um, there were a few teams that opened the season with back-to-backs, or like the LA Clippers are currently about to start a 5 game set in 7 days, and that's just brutal. Something like that. That's just brutal.
Yeah.
Um, what else has he done? So yeah, about an 8.5.
Yeah, he's done quite a bit. He's like you said, he's done a few things that I absolutely agreed with him on, and some things that I didn't agree with him on. First of all, you mentioned how he handled the Donald Sterling situation, and I mean, he really took a very strong stance And obviously, his goals are to protect the league and, of course, the league's money. But it's okay if those line up with some very key social issues, and in this case, it did because Donald Sterling's a racist and deserved to be kicked out of the league, and ultimately that's what happened. One of the things that I disagree with Adam Silver on is this age limit thing, because he's definitely going to try and push to increase the age limit the next time he can, and I think that's absolutely stupid. I don't think there should be an age limit to begin with, let alone increasing it. They're talking about making it 20 years as opposed to the current 19. And I don't have to ask you how you feel about it because I know you agree with me that the age restriction is just bad for basketball in general, and now they're talking about making it even higher.
We've talked about the age thing. We've talked about the age thing before, and I will agree with you on disagreeing with Silver on this issue.
Absolutely. But one of the other things that Sterling has done that's kind of shown his progressiveness, because there's two things that you can't accuse Sterling of. You can't accuse, Silver of. You can't accuse Silver of being old-fashioned, and you can't accuse him of being opposed to change, because these are, two things that he's shown throughout his tenure is that he's going to be progressive. He's going to push the envelope, and one other evidence of that is his stance on sports gambling. He thinks that in today's day and age, the society that we live in, that there is no reason for sports gambling to be outlawed in the country. Now that goes contrary to what most leagues have done, and even contrary to what the NBA has done in the past.
NBA has done in the past.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah. So when I saw. You did it again. We're talking about Adam Silver, not Donald Sterling.
Yeah, we can't get those names right. It's like my daughter and my sister have similar sounding names, and I always confuse them when I'm talking about them in the same sentence.
So yeah, I'm like you. I agree with. I like that. I read his op-ed piece in the New York Times earlier this week, and I'm all for it. We're having a charity poker tournament tomorrow night, so of course we're all for legalizing sports gambling. One thing that I would like to see him do, and I wish that he didn't do it. I would like for him to revisit the NBA's banned substance list policy when the next time he can. Simply because I find it funny that J.J. Hickson was tested positive for marijuana. J.J. Hickson plays for the Denver Nuggets in Colorado, a state where it's now legal to smoke it. And I think that's kind of weird. I think that's kind of funny. So that I didn't necessarily.
About how to address that is interesting because I think now there are up to 3 or 4 states in the union that have legalized marijuana, but of course there are more NBA teams than just those 4 states. So how do you address the different legality and different principles and all that stuff? So I don't know how to address that. I agree that they should just remove marijuana from the substance policy period. How about that?
I agree. I'm all for it. I'm all for it. But like I said, I'll give Silver a stellar 8.5 thus far. 8.5.
He's done a really good job. I can't disagree with the 8.5. I don't know if I could put a number on the type of job that he's done thus far, but he's definitely come off as less of an antagonist than David Stern. And that I can get with, compared to the way some of these other commissioners of other leagues have capitulated themselves recently. I mean, Silver is, far and away the best commissioner.
Yeah. So far, but again, he's also the shortest tenured commissioner.
Yeah, absolutely. So all in all, thumbs up from the People's Court crew, Adam Silver. Again, hit us up on Twitter at People's Court FM. You got something else, Amon?
Adam Silver's the bald one. That's it.
Okay, that doesn't help because when I'm thinking about saying their name, I don't picture what they look like.
Oh, you should. It might help.
I don't want to be thinking old man. Anyway, at People's Court FM, http:// the People's Court.fm. Have a good weekend.
Enjoy.